Okay, so let's start with the introduction to AWS Connect. AWS Connect is an omni-channel cloud call center which you can configure. It's 100% cloud-based, and you could configure it once you instantiate an instance. It's a self-service configuration where you could create your own contact center and have it function for your own business. It works on a small scale as well as a large scale. It's highly scalable, and I encourage any small startup business to use this product because it's very easy to configure and use. It's based on a concept of contact flows. What you do is set up a phone number for customers to call in, or a chat channel for users to chat. And basically, the interaction starts interacting with a contact flow. The contact flow describes the business logic. So if the customer is calling in, the contact flow could start out with a block that says, "Would you like to speak in English or Spanish? Choose one for English, one for Spanish, etc." So there's logic there which helps the customer, get directed to the proper agent or get self-service, and that's done with contact flows. And contact flows help integrate with any AWS managed service as well as any AI tool or workforce or any enterprise system. So it's easily customizable to be able to take AWS Connect, create a contact center, and extend it so you have custom functionality to interact with anything you like. So it's an open collaborative service. And the big power of AWS Connect, I find, is it integrates very well with the AWS managed services. So any particular, you could integrate Lexbots, you could integrate Lambdas. There's just a wide variety of managed services you can use. In particular, AWS Connect streams all the audio to S3 buckets, and you could use things like Kinesis and Firehose to funnel data into and systems like Snowflake, etc. Now there is a workforce component to it. When the user calls in, you can be connect Amazon Connect to Salesforce and Service Desk. So when the agent picks up the call, the agent sees all the information associated with the customer, is very ready to help the customer with their case, with their problem. The AI capabilities are implicit, but they are there and they're very, very strong. Okay, so the sound files get transcribed using AWS transcribe the text uh phrases and paragraphs get analyzed, and sentiment is analyzed, and there's Lexbots that can be used for chatting, and there's all types of AI capability associated with Amazon Connect. So there's a lot of potential to say, oh, a customer's talking to an agent, and their sentiment for the customer is not good. They're going to cancel their service, and the supervisor could interact and say, okay, let me help this customer. So there's real-time analytics and AI capabilities to help the interaction between a customer and an agent, or a customer doing self-service, which I think is a more powerful capability now that AI is getting stronger. Self-service capabilities are extraordinary, and it could integrate with different enterprise systems. We have things in Amazon managed services like AppFlow, where you could take events and retrieve events and propagate it into your DynamoDB and have your Amazon Connect communicate with that data, through Lambda, etc. But anyway, this is a high level view. Let's get a little bit deeper. Okay, so here's a good picture to look at to give you a better idea at a very high level what Amazon Connect is. So basically, you have the AWS cloud, and you instantiate this AWS Connect Contact Center instance. Once you have the instance, you could start setting up your phone number and your chat capabilities. So you go to your channels and you configure your chat, and you could expose that chat widget to your application. You could also do inbound calls. The customer can call in a phone number to get help from an agent or self-service help. Um, and so the customers are interacting with your, I'm going to say your business application, and they have a call-in number and they have a chat which is exposed via a widget. And I'll show you that shortly. The agents can be online or offline, and there could be different types of agents with different skills, and they could be picking up calls from different queues. And there's this contact control panel which they could use. They could log into Amazon Connect, and they get to see this contact control panel. And they even see an agent workspace where when they pick up the call, they see the Salesforce information, the ServiceNow information, they see the caller information, and they say, "Hello, hello, Mary. Can I help you? Thank you for being a gold member." Blah blah blah. And the sentiment of the customer Mary talking to the agent is analyzed in real time or post call, and basically you could follow up and help the customer improve their sentiment, etc. So the idea is for the customer to get good customer support or technical support, whatever it may be, and and basically the customer's happy, and you minimize the call on the phone, you minimize the time it takes to help that customer. So there are certain things associated we should point out with Amazon Connect. Like I said, it's configurable to a large number of customers, a large number of agents. It is omni-channel. Typically, voice and chat is used, um, and and basically, when you create the instance, you determine which user directory you want to use. Amazon Connect comes with its own user directory, and but you can integrate with Active Directory, managed service, or on-premise, and it also interacts with SAML 2.0, the single sign-on. There are these things called customer profiles. Like I said, you could integrate with Salesforce and Service Desk when the user calls in, the Salesforce data for that user, and the case management for Service Desk um, comes in, and basically basically the agent could see all the information associated with the user. The powerful integration comes with Lexbot and Lambda. S3, without a doubt, is used out of the box. All the sound files and everything goes to S3. If you want to extend functionality, you plug in a Lambda. You could access data from DynamoDB. So all the custom application work that you do can be done with the Lambda. You just drop and drag a Lambda block onto your contact flow. And at this stage in the workflow, you calling a Lambda, etc. And Lexbots are very, very powerful. They define customer intent with slots that must be filled, and the chat bot will ask the customer questions to fill in those slots. And once those slots are filled, the Lexbot could fulfill the customer's request. And basically, this conversation is happening with Lexbot, and the customer is just getting what they need to move on. It's a pay for usage only, so it's highly scalable. That's why I said startup companies can use this, generate a Lexbot widget, throw it out there on their website, have call-in numbers very, very quickly, and you pay for what's being used. So that's a good model. Fast build, maintainable. Um, like I said, it's very easy to instantiate an instance, configure the contact center, and it's very easy to maintain. You could tweak it, extend it, change a workflow, redeploy it. No, it's very, very quick. There's contact attributes that can be used. The system understands attributes like what queues are there, and you could retrieve some of these queue names. And so as you're chatting with the user or the users on the phone call, you could be referring to them like, Hello, Mary, how can I help you? I see you're a silver or a gold member, and your case number is 105. So the contact attributes are used for the conversation and interaction between the customer um, and Lexbot or an agent, and there's this interaction which is improved by using contact attributes. You could also use or define an attribute. There's attributes that are used that are flow based, and there's agent type attributes. Um, So anything involved in the system, you can find out and use that within your interactions if you want to. There's streaming associated with Amazon Connect. You could stream to Kinesis, which is really good because the data could get saved. Okay, so you got these sound files and these JSON datas, right? You got contract trace records, you've got agent records, you've got different JSON data which goes through Kinesis. And Kinesis can persist this data up to 365 days. And you could also consume that stream of Kinesis. You could do analytics, use Kinesis Analytics. You could consume that data. If you want to replay it, you can go back a month and get the data again. There's a lot of very good characteristics of Kinesis. One that's very commonly used is, and I always set up Kinesis, and you create Firehose, which takes the stream and hoses it to an S3 bucket. An S3 bucket might trigger an event, and the JSON data goes to an SNS topic, which gets picked up and pumped into Snowflake or something like that. So the streaming capabilities are very useful. And the next thing is the contact lens and wisdom. So contact lens is, think of it as observability, but it's observability to improve the customer agent interaction. So basically, contact lens could be configured very easily within Contact Center, and then within a workflow, you could turn it on as you're recording. As the recording gets transcribed, you see the customer and the agent talking, and you could see the analytics associated with that interaction. You see that the customer's not, the agent's not answering quick enough. There's too many pauses. The sentiment of the customer is degrading. um, the agent's looking up data and is trying to procrastinate. There's all these different problems. If the agent says, "Oh, I'm going to cancel my service. I'm not happy with this service," there's real-time events that can go to a supervisor. Supervisor could come in and check in and offer the customer, a free product or a coupon, and the customer sentiment becomes green again, and they're happy. And that's the goal of Contact Lens, is to improve that customer agent interaction. Wisdom is a very powerful thing. Um, Wisdom, I kind of look at it as Amazon Q. Basically, with wisdom, what you can do is feed the agent in real time all of this information, like like links and documents and things they could tell the customer uh, to help the conversation and help the agent deliver the service that's needed. And so when you think of wisdom, think of knowledge bases, think of, let's suppose a user is calling in or chatting in, and they want to know about the different types. They want to rent a car, let's say. Basically, what type of car, they want to know the car policy, and wisdom has a knowledge base to give them information associated with the insurance policy and things like that. So wisdom is based on creating these knowledge bases and using them, but also uh, and that's what Amazon Q does really well, but also delivering that to the agent in real time so the agent can help the customer. Um, and so where we're heading, and I believe where we're heading is that the self-service is really where it's at, because if the agent's going to get a link and or see a paragraph that answers a question from a customer, why not let the customer see it dynamically? So a self-service system would use uh, retrieval augmented guided AI systems that basically give them information they might need to see. So self-service in Amazon Connect is really powerful because a customer could ask something via chat, and the chat could respond with information pertaining to a particular company's products or information. So it's really important in self-service. And like I mentioned, the next bullet is like Amazon Q, comprehend, poly, transcribe. Poly does text to speech, um, so you can get good voices talking to your customers. Transcribes takes the sound files from a call and gets paragraph text, so the text could be analyzed by AI and determine what is the customer is trying to do. And comprehend can use existing large language models and custom models to deliver what you need. And all these products have SDKs associated with them, so building custom applications with them is really powerful as well. Okay, so I'm going to finish off the introduction with the fact that when you have an Amazon Connect, you're really looking at an ecosystem in Amazon. And I find this to be extremely powerful because everything's a lot of things are managed services, and what we're doing is letting Amazon Connect, given the permission to talk to these different things. There's things that come out of the box which are used in Amazon Connect, and there's things that you could plug in and use to extend your Amazon Connect functionality. So the way Amazon Connect works is you got your customers calling in, using their mobile, using social media, and they call in to connect. They might call into a phone number. They come in to connect. The phone call gets queued as all the phone calls getting streamed to S3 buckets, so the storage is used out of the box. CloudWatch is logging things if you want that to happen. CloudTrail's keeping track of who's doing what, and it's secure with IAM or Active Directory or Cognito, whatever you want to use. The idea is for the agent to be talking to the customer, but all these services are used within Amazon Connect if you want to use them. So the orchestration is really important because if the phone call lands uh, at a workflow, and the workflow might ask the customer a question. The question is, do you want to speak Spanish or English? And the user picks English, so they're redirected to a queue and an agent which has a profile of English would pick up the call. And as the agent is talking to the customer, they find the customer's profile, the cases. There's they use step-by-step guides to try to help the customer, and they could use Amazon Q to ask any question associated with their problem, domain, etc. And and that's where this data comes in. There's other data the agent could use, and so downstream, basically what happens is as you're going through the workflow and the orchestration, you might be hitting on lambdas, lexbots, step functions, APIs, etc. You might be interacting with databases. In particular, DynamoDB is really big in the Amazon Connect workspace. Development is done with Amazon tools, and there's communication, right? The communication is chat, SES, pinpoint. You could talk to social media apps. You could do in-app calling, SMS, etc. So there's a lot of communication that's available, and there's a lot of analytics tools that are used. And I put Kinesis and Firehose in here, but Contact Lens is the big one these days. Open search is observability, and you could definitely search once you streams events into open search. You index, you create certain indexes, and you could search things quickly. And then there's Athena and Glue. So a lot of the JSON data comes in and winds up on an S3 bucket, and you can create data catalogs and query that data with Athena. Most of the time, the work is done in real time, and it winds up in Snowflake, and Snowflake is used by the analytics team. But this is a little bit overwhelming and not necessarily a structured architecture. But you get the picture. Uh, and like I said, most of these services are used just depending on which client, what is the system, and and how you're solving the problem. I'll point out here that AppFlow is really nice. You could interface, you could interact with SaaS applications. And what you could do is Salesforce could send events, and AppFlow can receive the events and stream them into DynamoDB, and then you could use that with Amazon Connect. On the other hand, you could use Amazon Connect and use customer profiles and use the agent workspace, and the agent workspace would be able to show the Salesforce profiles and and the case management. So anyway, that's all we really want to talk about, the high level architecture. And now let's get into different functionality pieces of the Amazon Connect system.